The West Lafayette Public Library has collected many things over the years that help to tell a story of the community's rich history. All of these collections live in the West Lafayette Public Library archives and range from old letters to official papers. One of our collections contains hundreds of recipes submitted by local clubs and organizations years ago. Today, we'll be looking at a recipe that was included in the International Center's cookbook. With the help of local chef Christiana Hicks, we will explore the history of Italians in West Lafayette while we make this classic entree, risotto e funghi. The International Center has graciously allowed us to use their kitchen to make this project happen. Start with prepping your ingredients. Be careful when using a sharp knife. Carefully slice the onion horizontally before making vertical cross slices. We chose white onion, but yellow would also be fine. The recipe for this dish will be located in the description below so you can try it at home. The original recipe called for porcini mushrooms, but we thought morels would put a more local flavor into this risotto. Let the mushrooms soak in water to rehydrate them. This will help to avoid them crumbling while you cut. Slice your morels long ways, making sure to avoid pieces that are too thick. Morels provide a similar texture to some proteins, which makes this dish feel hearty without adding meat. Once you're finished, we're ready for the pan. Once you're at medium heat, add butter to the pan. Let it melt before throwing in anything else. When the butter has melted, toss in the chopped onion from earlier. The small dice on the onion will blend better with rice and mushrooms later on. Get them evenly coated in butter and try to keep stragglers off the sides. While your onions are browning, get your stock on even heat so that you can add it when the time comes. Once your onions begin to crisp in a few spots, add your mushrooms and stir those into the mix. Next, add your white wine, and you'll want to adjust your heat to cook off the alcohol before you add your rice. Now add your arborio rice to the pan, and try to incorporate it well with the onions and mushrooms. You want as even a coating as you can manage. As well as to flatten it out before adding stock. Ladle your warm chicken stock into the pan like Christiana does here, trying to get those outskirts covered as well. The stock will pool in the center of most pans, so don't forget the edges. Rice-centric dishes like risotto are filling and make good, hearty meals for large families. In the mid-1800s, when West Lafayette was still a small collection of changing villages, hundreds of immigrants were coming into this part of the Wabash to start a new life. At the turn of the century, it was Italian immigrants who built the old Happy Hollow train lines. Today's recipe was an original, taught by Giovanna Bernardini in her Italian cooking class during the late 90s and early 2000s. We thank Giovanna for her contribution to the food history of West Lafayette. Grate some cheese into the pan. This will add a nice nutty flavor to complement the earthy morels. You can also throw in the last of the butter, which together with the cheese will make the risotto creamy and delicious. Let that sit covered for a short while and you'll have this beautiful dish at the end. We are finishing with some fresh grated cheese, but you could also add some chives for color. The morels really came through. This is very yummy. The creaminess just goes and goes. And the rice is that perfect tenderness. The cheese holds it all together. Join us in the future for more recipes like this one, or explore some for yourself by coming into the archives today at the West Lafayette Public Library.